I watched Lost Souls. That's the Dr. Moreau.
You liked it?
Yeah,
I liked it. It was pretty crazy, right? Like the one producer who said it seemed as if Marlon Brando and Val Kilmer were just out to destroy this production.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating when a movie goes wrong so badly, and they document it. That's when it's like fascinating because most movies seem to go well, and there's like those few little hiccups here and there. Maybe like an actor doesn't particularly like another actor, but when movies fail so badly, that's when it gets interesting. Like Lost in La Mancha, this particular movie, and then movies like Apocalypse Now, when it just barely makes it out, and like several of the actors either have heart attacks on set or have nervous breakdowns.
Yeah, but Apocalypse Now was great. The Evan Dr. Moreau was, it was a clusterfuck.
Well, this past
I enjoyed it very much, but it was crazy. And the fact that the part was, I'm sorry, Sam, hold on a second. The part where they said the director, like, he escaped from the production, ran off to the woods and was smoking pot, and then he snuck back and put on costumes to be an extra in his own film after they fired him. Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I just watched that documentary. I forget what it's called. It's about the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Never Sleep Again.
Never Sleep Again. Thank you. It was a very interesting documentary. It's 4 hours long, but they went through each of the films in the Nightmare series. And you never realize the reason that the series fell apart towards the end is because 4 and 5 were rushed. The writer's strike had struck with part 4. The director was saying, I had no idea what we were going to do from one day to the next. The script was a mess. He's like, we hadn't cleaned it up. And they were like, you're releasing it on this day, and that's it.
I like the way you described it as if the writer's strike was a supervillain. The writer's strike has struck.
Warning. The following program contains language not suitable for younger listeners. And spoilers. You have been warned.
Now beamed from the fortified bunker below Culver City, California, this is Well, That Happens Movie Review.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the WTH Movie Show, where we watch a movie and play some games, apparently. This is what's going to happen. Jeff is the one in charge of the film this week. It is Wrymwood. And we're going to discuss it with a Y. Worm with a Y. It's an Australian independent film about zombies. But before we get into any of that, well, you know what? I'll hand it off to Jeff. Jeff, you lay it out.
Let's just go through what's going to happen today. We're going to have a review of the movie, but that's going to happen at the end. Up until then, we're going to have a zombie discussion, a discussion about the paranormal acts of zombies and the post-apocalypse that's about to happen. So if you have any thoughts, ideas, join in. Please, by all means, talk to us. Send us emails at wellthathappenedpodcast.com. You can contact us there.
Now, that being said, Jeff opened up the floor for zombie discussion. We should probably explain what this movie is. Jeff, do you want to read the log line?
Sure. The Netflix log line is: a man in the outback must rescue his sister from a mad scientist conducting experiments on survivors of a plague that is turning humans into zombies. Bum, bum, bum. But
so this is a zombie movie.
This is a zombie movie. But I have something that I've noticed about Netflix is that their synopses tend to be god-awful. So I want to ask you, what do you think the log line should have been? This one's not bad compared to some of the other ones. But Sam, what do you think the log line of Wrymwood, Road of the Dead, should have been?
A brother and sister team up to take on the zombie apocalypse fueled by gasoline. That's it.
All right. Haley, what do you think?
That was a good one.
No, it wasn't.
I liked it.
It's very Netflix.
Well done, Sam. Mine was when the zombie apocalypse hits, a brother tries to save his sister from a mad scientist.
That was very straight-laced.
Yeah, it really was.
All right, Todd, what do you think?
A zombie apocalypse sweeps through rural Australia, and a brother and sister may hold the key to the human race's survival.
Ooh, that one was pretty good. It's too good for Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say you should work for Netflix, but...
You would make too much sense.
Yeah.
I hire out at about $35,000 a year starting salary plus benefits.
All right, and mine
Including
is...
dental. Gotta have dental.
Mine is another zombie origin, Walking Dead style, makes way for X-Men with zombie powers.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well,
But
you know
it's
what
Netflix
happens when we
like.
combine all of ours? A zombie origin with zombies filled with gasoline with a brother and sister that have a key.
There you go.
So there you go.
That's
That is our
beautiful.
Netflix synopsis.
He did that on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. No editing here. All right, what's our first game, Jeff?
All right. Well, first of all, we're going to talk about the CDC. Todd mentioned that he had brought this up a while ago, but I want to bring it up again. The CDC has a zombie preparation guide. Did you know about this?
Yes, because I brought it up a while ago.
The CDC came up with a zombie preparedness plan in a fun way to prepare you at home on how to react to natural disasters or emergencies in general.
That's right. The CDC said that they created the zombie preparedness plan because it would get people's attention. And if people genuinely feared a zombie attack or a zombie uprising and they prepared for it, they would actually be prepared for an earthquake or a tsunami or martial law or invasion or any number of horrible things. Yellowstone exploding, Sharknado, stuff like that.
Do you know what's on that list?
No, I don't. Actually, that I don't know.
Okay, well,
There's
let's-
blood.
What do you think? What do you think is on the list?
You know, I'm going to say one of the ones the CDC put on there for make sure you have water.
I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah.
You cheap,
that's-
low-hanging fruit bastard.
You are correct. Water is first on the list with 1 gallon per person per day. Todd, what do you think is on the list?
I'm also going to take a cheap and easy one. Canned goods, easily preserved foods.
That is also on the list. That is number 2 on the list. Stock up on non-perishable items that you can eat regularly. Haley, what do you think is on the CDC's zombie preparation list?
Make sure there's a blunt object within arm's length from you.
Blunt object? Why not sharp?
Well, you're gonna.
Sharp's not so much fun.
Yeah, you get to hit something in the head, smash it.
Repeatedly.
On Amazon, there is a side table, and it has the top of it is a shield, and the bottom part of it is a bat. So when you take it apart, you can knock the crap out of some zombies.
Is it a Louisville Slugger?
That was a cricket bat, wasn't it?
No, I think it's just a stick. I don't know.
I thought it looked like a cricket bat.
Because look, if it's not a Louisville Slugger, it's not a bat.
You know what? You're not wrong, actually.
I'm not.
No, because it says tools and supplies, a utility knife, duct tape, battery-powered radio, etc. And I believe etc. recalls bats
Bats. Okay.
and shotguns
Cool.
and shields. Any other guesses for what's on the list?
Condoms, because you always got to be protected.
Gauze, hydrogen peroxide, bleach, Band-Aids,
That's going to fall under first aid,
sutures.
which is also on the list.
Batteries.
Batteries.
For that
that's
dildo.
that's
I was
in the
gonna say
tools
it
and
might get
supplies.
lonely.
That's on the supplies.
Methamphetamines.
I think that falls under first aid.
Alcohol.
I think that still falls under first aid, but it's
Vodka?
not on there. No.
Oh,
Oh,
an
it didn't.
ice maker.
An ice? You mean a freezer?
No, not necessarily a freezer. One of those little ice makers. Awesome.
You need,
Apparently, yes. Apparently, I mean a freezer.
you need a fandangled ice box.
I mean one of those machines that you plug into the wall and you have a little cup or tube, and then it makes ice cubes for you so you can keep your drinks chilled.
Oh, I know what else you need. You need a radiator so you can handcuff somebody you don't think is trustworthy.
That's right, Sam Jackson.
Damn, you went Black Snake. What was that movie called? Black Snake Moan?
Black Snake
I
Moan.
really like that movie.
It's really well done. And Christina Ricci, she can get it.
She can still get it. A lot of the music in that movie was written by R.L. Burnside. He was one of my favorite blues musicians.
What else do you need in that zombie shelter of yours?
Gasoline?
A blanket.
Okay, yes. Clothing and bedding is on there. So now you need...
I would say that some people wouldn't use blankets. They'd use slankets? Suit blankets. You know, what are they called? Snuggles?
Snuggies? I totally
What
have. I
the
totally have a
What are you
snuggie.
talking about?
Snuggies. You know, those fucking like...
It's a backwards robe.
those Colts. Those
So when you go to the
Colt
doctor,
outfits?
the things they give you at the doctor's office,
Pretty much.
the backwards robe.
But it's made out of felt.
Did someone say bleach earlier?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's on there. That's on there. Sanitation and hygiene.
Drano.
Why would you be using a sink and drinking water? at that point?
Chainsaw.
No, it's not.
Tampons.
Tampons, yes. But Drano's not for the sink in these cases.
What would you use Drano for?
People who lie and then have to die.
No, what you use Drano for is if you need to make an escape from the mental institute that you're being held in, you put a needle and you get one of the orderlies and you hold him hostage with the needle in his neck.
Exactly.
You know what I realized was
Terminator
not,
2.
we haven't talked about yet?
Terminator 2?
Is a Discman and Leonard Skinner's greatest hits. Because whenever the zombie apocalypse happens, you need to get in your pickup truck and blare out Sweet Home Alabama as you and your buddies go cruising through town, taking the heads off those Walking Dead sons of bitches.
What
There's
are the
one last thing that you need. The CDC suggests that no one has
A
mentioned.
wife?
You don't need a wife.
You just need somebody there.
No, if the zombie apocalypse happens, you either have to have someone to feed to the zombies as a distraction or to make new babies when it ends.
It's either bait or mate.
Anyway, the last item the CDC suggests is important documents, papers, copies of your driver's license, passport, birth certificate.
What do you need?
Bullshit.
What do you need your driver's license for in a zombie apocalypse?
Bullshit.
I mean, honestly, like at that point, all bets are off. Get me a fucking machete and some duct tape. I'm ready to go.
I'm taking your fucking driver's license, Jeff.
Why my driver's license?
Because you have a better record than I do. I get lower insurance when it's all over.
Yeah, it's because you're going to worry about your insurance when the zombie apocalypse hits.
All right, let's move on. So in every single movie, you have what's called the catalyst, that moment of the movie that the main character gets the letter that tells them the story is about to begin, the action is about to begin. They're given the message that happens. In this particular case, in Wrymwood, the main character finds that his wife and kid become zombies, and he has to do something about them. So...
Is that the catalyst, or is the catalyst when his sister calls him? Because you just said he gets a letter or something, and then his sister called him.
Actually, yeah, technically speaking, the catalyst is him getting the message from his sister.
Well, it would have happened anyway, because remember, it's something in the air that's turning people. It's only type 8 negative blood that prevents them from turning into zombies. So if it wasn't for his sister's phone call, he would have been sleeping, and his wife and daughter would have eaten him up in his sleep.
No, they wouldn't have, because the daughter came into the room and was like, hey, someone's in the kitchen.
But that's...
And I think she would have done that no matter if they got the phone call or not.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Touché, sir.
So actually,
Touché.
technically speaking, that scene in the movie is the break into the second act moment, where he has to basically give up his original life, the thesis of the movie, and go into the antithesis of the movie. So you have to have that moment where he has to, in a sense, make the choice to go from one point to another, make a choice to go from one life to another. And in this sense, he is making the choice to, in this movie, kill his wife and daughter who have the zombie virus. I want to ask you, what would you do? If your wife, kid, girlfriend, boyfriend, anybody got the zombie virus, how would you feel? What would you do? And
Dude,
how would you react?
Honestly, I just go into monster mode and be like, yo, motherfucker, you're going to get a machete to the neck right now. Chop, chop, done.
Quite honestly, I would react almost exactly the way he did. I felt that actor did a great job. He did a phenomenal job.
See, I'm going with a better answer here.
I know you're going with a more interesting answer, but not necessarily a more real answer.
Fine. You want me to go real? I'd be a mess. I'd be a fucking wreck. I'd be devastated on the inside to know that I'd have to put down my wife and kids.
And then try to kill myself.
I don't know if I'd try to kill myself,
I would.
but I don't know if I could.
Without a doubt.
Nah, I like myself.
Without a doubt.
too.
If anything happened to my wife and son, I'd probably put myself out.
No, I mean, no, because here's the thing. You can say that now, but honestly, it's something that I think it's as devastating, but I don't know if I would. I mean, honestly, because you have your friends and you have your family to kind of give you some support, and yeah, it would suck. It's probably the worst fucking thing that somebody who has a wife and family or a husband and family, even the love of their life that they haven't married yet, like it's their fucking girlfriend, but they're like, this is the one, man. I know this is the one. And you lose them. I don't know, man. I think...
No, look.
Because if not, everybody would be killing themselves all the time.
I know what you're saying. If my wife were to die tomorrow, I could probably go on because of my kid. If my kid were to die tomorrow, it'd be rough. It'd be horrible. But I could probably go on because of my wife. If, within a 10-minute period, I had to put my wife and son down, there'd be no coming back from that. Absolutely not.
Ah, fuck, man. I don't know, man.
You're using a samurai
And I
sword.
feel like that actor did a great job with my single greatest pet peeve of all moviedom, and this movie did it.
The soundtrack?
No, it used a goddamn pneumatic hammer as a weapon, not plugged into anything.
Right.
I hate that. That shows up time and time again in movies where the guy's like, I got this nail gun. And they run around killing people with the nail gun, shooting it like a pistol, like a ballistics, having it not plugged into anything.
So you're okay with Lethal Weapon 2?
No, I hate that too.
But he's in the house that they're repairing.
That's true, but it's not plugged in.
What, Haley? What would you do?
If you turned into a zombie,
Yeah.
I'd shoot you
Thank you.
within a heartbeat. Just shoot you, put you down.
Sweet.
You have no choice. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'd put
Yeah.
you down. I'd feel bad about it,
Right.
but I'd shoot you.
Okay.
Yeah, chop your head off.
All right. Well, that helped.
Todd would help.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, it's for your own good.
Yeah.
I'd feel bad about it, but I'd keep on going.
You talking about the nail gun actually brings up a point. If you had one weapon for the zombie apocalypse, like one weapon. Now, bear in mind, ammo runs low on a gun. You only have one clip in your gun. Gas is only limited. What weapon would that be?
You know my answer. I already said it.
What?
Louisville Slugger.
Louisville Slugger. Okay, right. Sam.
Oh man, there's a plethora of weapons to pick from. I've thought about this.
Just so you know, a solar-powered chainsaw doesn't really work very well. I looked it up. It does exist, but it runs terrible. Because I really thought about that.
I would think I would go with an ice pick.
An ice pick.
I would, because I'd come from under the chin and just jab up hard right in there and
vicious.
be fucking. I'd make it happen.
It's an interesting choice.
That
I'd
is
be like, take that, Sharon Stone. I know how to kill motherfuckers with an ice pick.
I feel
too.
like with an ice pick, you're getting too close.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to get close anyway.
Yeah, because if you...
Even with
then you're
even if
gonna
you
run
had
out
a
of bullets.
machete, you're still taking swings. A machete's not that long. What is it? Maybe 16 inches? That's not. Yeah, it's not that.
But I feel like you have to go through like bone and shit to get through. And do you have enough leverage with an ice pick?
Oh man, you do that uppercut. Oh man, you could get in there. I'm telling
Sam's
you.
probably got the upper body strength to be able to wield an ice pick.
Well, I mean, is it like the one with like the hook, or are you talking?
No,
like
I'm talking about just a straight little pick. Just
I see what you're saying.
like it's the nice and just point and you just right under the chin, like you just one.
Under the chin. You don't go through the eye or the temple.
Oh, that's a good point. I just like to make it look cool.
That's true. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you look good doing it.
That's true. It's
That's
like
how you're going to survive the zombie apocalypse.
That's right. Because imagine this, like, my whole family is wiped out, and then there's like a village of women, and they see me take out a zombie just with the ice pick. I put man, they want to suck my dick. Hardcore.
Your family?
Yeah, because they're dead.
Your family?
No, I said they're dead, and there's a village of
Dead.
women.
Oh,
Wow.
I thought you said
You
your
missed-
family. I was like,
you misheard
Jesus.
that.
I wish your wife was here just to see the reaction on her face.
Yeah, because my family is dead. Like I said, there's
Right.
a village of women. They're
So-
watching me, and I look cool as fuck, just jabbing these zombies under the chin and killing them. Be like, "What's up, ladies?" Pants drop. Done. Civilization repopulated.
Well, at least you have a plan. I can approve of that.
Jeff.
I would use an axe. My personal thing would be like one of those big axes, because you can use it as a tool, to build stuff, cut like wood, like to board up the house and all. And then you have an axe, so it's like you got the heavy just right in the cranium, man. Just
My only concern with that is axe can get stuck. Build a nice wedge in there in the skull. You get one zombie, here come a bunch of others. Whoo, man.
well, that's the same thing with the ice pick.
Then
I
you
feel
take
like.
the-
I remember splitting wood a lot back on our farm, and oftentimes the axe head would come off the handle. We'd have to shim that shit back on.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, if the handle breaks, you can still keep using the axe, and then you can also replace the handle at some point if you find some wood.
The handle you can use as a weapon, too.
The handle you could use a weapon.
I would use a
forgot.
shovel because you could sharpen the edges of the shovel, and you could also use it as a tool to dig holes and beat the shit out of them.
Place to bury your dead.
Not even
Exactly.
that. Just you could build a moat.
I could build a moat so zombies don't
I
come and
built a
get me.
boat. I built it. Oh, wait, that's not
But,
how that
well,
song goes.
also, I don't have the upper body strength that most people have, so it would be easier for me to swing and carry.
You'd think, but have you ever swung a shovel?
Yes.
Oh, well, never mind. I would feel like you would tire out with the shovel.
Yeah, I feel like you'd tire out with anything eventually.
It's not a nice pick.
No, I'm sorry
I
if
was going
that.
to say not a bat.
Yeah, right.
No,
I feel like though with like the ice pick, you're like punching constantly, and you get tired from that.
you're going to get tired eventually. Zombies are trying to kill you. All that adrenaline rush, you're going to eventually get
Part
tired.
of our workout at Waterworld is we do punches.
when people start coming in, you just start killing off like hundreds of them until they
No,
start
we do.
sitting
We
down.
stand in place and we do like 50 punches
Oh, okay.
just because it works your whole core.
I'm exhausted thinking of that.
I mean, that's part of it. We do also
Yeah,
do
that's
sit-ups, push-ups, planks,
Jump off of things.
pull-ups.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
Damn,
Wow.
it's a workout.
And when you're not at Waterworld, do you do it here?
No.
At your
I
house?
should. It'd be awesome if I were smart. Mostly what I do is I drink.
So your family's dead. You have your one weapon. Where do you go?
Where would I go? That's an interesting question. I would try to get out of the city. Not exactly sure where I'd go at this point because we live in the desert here in California.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'd probably try to head to the beach.
The beach. Interesting.
Yeah, right there by the pier and like set up some sort of perimeter. I don't even know. Honestly, it's a difficult question because if you go to the desert, you're now taking the risk on dehydration and just the wilderness.
There's a lot of people at the beach, though.
There is, yeah. You know, I honestly, I don't know. It's difficult.
As cliched as it is, I'd go to the mall. Like,
good,
look,
yeah.
It makes sense. You got all those stores, all that stuff. You can barricade yourself, close multiple doors, protect yourself, different hallways, different pathways. Zombies ain't smart.
Right.
Like, it's a ridiculous cliche because of Romero, but it ain't a bad idea.
No.
Well, as cliched as it is, I would go to the Federal in North Hollywood because it's got big, heavy doors, lots of alcohol, and you can definitely keep things. And we know that place, so although Jeff's going to be dead in this scenario anyway.
Yeah,
so.
I'm dead in this.
You've already killed Jeff.
I killed Jeff,
Yeah, I'm
but
dead.
that's where I'm going to go
And he
until
hadn't
I find
even
a
turned
plan.
into a zombie yet. She just killed him.
She was like, "What zombies attack?" Sorry, Jeff.
Hold me back.
Because as much as I'd love to come to the fortified bunker, I feel like this is way too far away for me.
No, it's a long drive for you.
And it's also a crowded location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know?
Though this wouldn't be that bad. I mean, we got those gates there. We got the bars on the window.
Yeah.
But the people from the other part of the bunker could come out. I think we need to come up with a zombie apocalypse plan.
I'd get an
Or will that happen?
Airstream trailer and I'd drive across the desert selling crack to kids. I'm sorry, I forgot. What are we talking about
This
again?
is not Breaking Bad.
Yeah, right.
And it's meth.
I still haven't seen that show.
Nor have I.
I was thinking about going up to Universal Studios, honestly.
I know where the guns are kept.
You know, there's obviously there's guns.
I have to check them in and out every day.
There's obviously guns. It's kind of got its own kind of, in a sense, security system. It's on the top of a hill, and there's food from all the vendors.
And the main entrance is just one gargantuan gate
Yeah. Yeah.
to Universal Studios. The only thing would be is if the zombie apocalypse broke out during daytime when there's people active,
Right.
that's when you'd run into problems.
But see, here's the thing. I would think that most people are trying to get away from
the movies, Sam. There's never a zombie apocalypse during the day. It always starts at night.
But yeah, I was thinking like Universal Studios because it's on the top of a hill, so that you could put like signs up saying, "Hey, here." So helicopters coming. You have a downward advantage, so anything coming up the hill, you could kind of see. You have the giant gate. There's food, obviously, from the vendors and everybody living in there. You have definitely there's,
And I know where the guns are.
and you know where the guns are.
And you can get on the Simpsons ride whenever you want.
And you know what's
Yep.
at City Walk? It's outside of Universal Studios, but you know what's at City Walk? The sock store, because you'll definitely need socks when you're in the zombie apocalypse.
She loves
That's true.
socks.
That wasn't on the CDC list.
Yeah.
You know what I've fallen in love with lately? Petty egg.
Petty.
Yeah, those
Oh.
stupid pumice stone things.
Oh yeah.
I've been using that on my feet. My feet are baby soft.
I sliced the hell out of my foot once with one of those. I can't use
No, see, I've had rough feet because of the work that I've been doing. It's been outside and in the water, and it's been pretty bad. My feet have been pretty terrible. So I bought a 3-pack set of purple pumice something or others from Amazon, and I've been rubbing my feet down every night with them. I love that shit. Like, my feet are soft and they caress me like a butt.
I don't know if I'd want soft feet because you're walking along the gravel, running away from the zombies.
No,
Why did you
my
leave your
feet
shoes
are
at home?
Awesome.
You never know.
And plus, you're dead in this scenario.
Oh right, I forgot.
Sorry,
That's why
you
Die Hard is awesome. They give him a reason to take his shoes
Right.
off.
That is
Jeff-
great. That is fantastic.
Jeff, you don't get to play in the zombie apocalypse.
I get to play. You might be dead in my scenario
Why would you kill me?
because that's the way the game works.
Because remember, he said that what happened if you turned. So in his
Yeah.
scenario, you've turned. He
Yeah.
has had to put you down.
Yeah, you're dead. I'm gonna find me another hottie.
Okay, now that's
That's
going
a
to...
bad conversation, Pat.
You guys wanted to see how he died,
gonna
right?
Stop you now, Jeff.
Well, Sam has like the village of women.
Wife's not here.
Yeah, my wife's-
Sam's wife's not here.
Yeah.
And she doesn't listen to the show. She claims she does. I know she's a liar. She's a fucking liar about that.
We'll leave that part in just to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Leave it in. Leave it in.
Well, before I die, let's move on. Alrighty, it's now time to find out what our favorite zombie movies are. Have you thought about this? Do you know what your favorite zombie movie is? Let us know. But while you let us know, we're going to talk about ours. Haley,
Yes.
top 5 zombie movies.
28 Days Later, Night of the Living Dead, the original, Shaun of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Fido.
Oh, nice. Nice. Todd.
I have not seen Fido. What's that?
That is the movie with, what's his name? He's a comedian.
It's basically
I didn't mean
people have put collars on zombies and made them into pets.
Yeah.
The boy who
I don't know anything about
And
this.
it's done
It's a great movie.
it's like 1950s,
1950s suburban.
Leave It to Beaver.
And the mother falls in love with the zombie, right? I haven't seen it, but
It's funny.
I watched like the first 10 minutes of it, and I was like, but it was late, and I was like, I'll get back to it later. Never did.
It's a definite
Billy
good
Connolly.
watch. Billy Connolly.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I love him. Billy Connolly's amazing. He was the uncle in Boondock Saints.
No, he was
Right.
the dad.
He was dad, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Come on now.
Yeah.
You
know what I
can't
mean.
fuck around with the Boondock Saints, man. It's the dad.
It's the dad.
There was a firefight.
I love that movie. The second one sucks.
Never saw it.
The
God,
director's
it's so
a terrible
bad.
director, though.
I hate
He's a
Troy
terrible
Duffy?
person.
Yeah, Troy
that
Duffy's
movie
terrible.
overnight. Just, oh, God. It rips your heart out because you're like, why would you do that?
He makes a lot of bad decisions, but it shows that he is truly a pawn in the producer's game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Weinsteins may be God.
I would probably agree to that.
I mean, dude,
mostly.
he was blacklisted for almost a decade. I mean, he fucked
Yeah.
up when he went into the Weinstein. I think it was
Harvey.
I think it was
Yeah,
Harvey that he
Harvey.
talked to, and he went off on this anti-Semitic rant. I'm like, you are an idiot.
Which is a really bad idea.
yeah.
I
You
mean,
went to the Weinstein Company and decided, yeah, I'm going to be anti-Semitic right now. I'm going to have no, you moron.
He had too many opportunities and just blew them all.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
5-1.
All right, 5.
5-1. My top 5 favorite zombie films. 5-1. Number 5, Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Donald Sutherland.
Nice.
Based on the Heinlein book, fantastic. Number 4, Evil Dead Part 2. Because look, I love Part 1, but Part 2 is the perfect blend of horror and comedy, and it's got all the amazing elements. Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, just truly a fantastic film. Number 3, Dawn of the Dead, the remake, the one with Ving Rhames.
That's a good one, too.
Fucking
Yeah.
love that movie. I love that one more than the original one. I think it's incredible. Especially the part where they're having sex to Richard Cheese singing Down by the Sickness.
Yeah.
It's so good. Number 2, American Psycho. Because a zombie film
That's interesting.
a zombie film is all about an outside force taking over you, taking away your personality, making you one of the many, where you then start to take over and kill the others and absorb them and take them over. American Psycho is all about that. It is a black satire about corporate greed and about money during the 80s and Wall Street in the 80s and the zombification of the consumer culture in America. I fucking love that movie.
That's a very interesting point you make there. I've never thought of that as a zombie movie, so well done. Well done. That's cool.
Thank you. And my number 1, Shaun of the Dead. Quite possibly the greatest zombie movie of all time because it was very realistic in its portrayal and how people would handle it. It was shot amazing. The first 15 minutes being shot the same way twice, but with just little tweaks, is incredible. Just a brilliant, brilliant film.
Nice. Sam.
I have a top 5 in no particular order because I don't really scale movies that way. But I'd have to say Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 edition. I think it's a far superior film to George A. Romero's classic original. Though I love it, I think making the female lead be a strong character, I think worked out much better than what he... I understand what he did,
No,
but...
original Barbara is highly obnoxious. What I love, the one thing I love about the original, though, is there is hardly any makeup on the zombies, and yet they're still terrifying.
28 Days Later by Danny Boyle and Alex Garland. Fucking brilliant. The opening sequence when he wakes up from his coma and is walking through London and it's completely abandoned is terrifying. Shaun of the Dead, great film. I mean, Edgar Wright, Nick Frost, Simon Pegg. What a brilliant film that this was. It was a love letter to zombie lovers out there. It was a funny, heartbreaking, terrifying film about the zombie apocalypse. I loved it. Dawn of the Dead, the George A. Romero classic. Honestly, the social issues that he tackles in his zombie films, the commercialization of the American culture, it's just, wow, spot on. And I actually enjoy Day of the Dead. The whole, like, what happens to us as zombies? Like, is there a way to bring out the humanity of something that's dead? And, I mean,
Good call.
Yeah, it's just fun.
You know what else was a good one? What's the one where it's the love story between the girl and the...
Oh, yeah. What was that?
Oh,
That was
Warm
Romeo
Bodies.
and Juliet.
Warm Bodies.
Warm
Warm
Bodies.
Warm Bodies
That
was
one
excellent.
I like that one.
That was
you're right.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
it was fantastic. So good.
That was-
I also, as a runner-up, I guess, I really liked World War Z. I really did. I really enjoyed that film.
Those zombies were scary as hell. In
And
that.
I love Brad Pitt. I
didn't
can't help but admit it. Like I have a little bit of a crush on Brad Pitt.
There's nothing
I
wrong
think
with
he's
having
amazing.
a crush on Brad Pitt. My problem was the plot really
Well,
fell
it
apart
wasn't
for
the
me.
book
Yeah.
is the problem.
No.
And that book, if you guys have not read the book, it's World War Z by Max Brooks, which is Mel Brooks' son. It's truly amazing. It is an oral history of the zombie war. He writes it as if he is a reporter.
No, he's a former
interviewing-
UN ambassador.
Okay, whatever. He writes it as if he is reporting the stories of other people during the zombie war. And it's a phenomenal book. The way it's written is truly phenomenal. It is an alternative history of our modern world, as if the zombie apocalypse were happening right now. And it's almost impossible to make it into a movie form.
I've yet to. There's a way to make it into a movie form. You'd have to do it into a mockumentary, almost like a fake documentary. You could pull it off, or maybe
as a
even bullshit,
story-
or maybe bullshit reenactments of the zombie
But
war.
part of the problem, there's not really a beginning, middle, and end to the story, to the book.
You could pull it off, though. You could start it off with the beginning of the outbreak and have, maybe...
What, in China or whatever it was with the prison?
Yeah, and then, like, slowly, start escalating the story into the full blown-out war and the problems that they occurred there, and then finally the turn of the war, and then ended on a positive note and how they fixed it. There's a way to do it.
That would be interesting if you take like old archival footage and tweak it like with some CGI or some stuff like that, or recreate archival footage like they did with Watchmen or Forrest Gump, and they tweak stuff so the sense of like, oh, this was what was supposed to happen, but then there's the
You could totally pull
alternative
it
history.
off. Yeah, I mean, one of my friends told me is because I watched the film and I hated it because I had read the book and
Which is amazing.
and it's really good. He told me to try to look at it as if it's a different chapter of the overall story. He's like, don't look at it as if it's supposed to be the book. Just think about it. It's a different chapter, and it's a tale spun differently through the eyes of this specific UN ambassador.
And that's exactly what it was.
And that
It
made
was looking for Brad Pitt.
That made the film better, but still, in terms of zombie, it's rough. It's tough for me to like it.
No, I genuinely like that film a lot.
Do you have a least favorite zombie movie?
A least favorite zombie movie? Oh, Zombievers. Oh,
That would
Yeah,
Anything-
Zombievers is really bad.
Anything after Resident Evil 1.
even Resident Evil 1's painful to watch.
Resident Evil 1 I was kind of okay with. Everything after that. was
I didn't
terrible.
like any of the Resident
Neither
Evil
did
films. Not a single one of them was
Me
good.
as a video game player, as the video game enthusiast amongst us, Resident Evil is painful to watch. The entire series is broken.
Least favorite zombie movie, The Happening.
Oh yeah, that was bad. That was
That's
bad.
a bad fucking film.
I was gonna say I Am Legend because it wasn't supposed to be zombies.
They're-
like they're
No, it's supposed
They're
to be
like vampires in that.
but that's the thing.
no,
They're
the movie
not.
was terrible.
They're not.
No, the movie. What I like about I Am Legend is the relationship between Will Smith and the dog. That was it. Once,
Yeah, but
the
that's
movie is terrible. No, I'm
It's
not.
a terrible.
It's a terrible.
Which is so sad because the book is so good.
Yeah.
The book is
I even
so good.
I even watched the Vincent Price. I forget what the name of the movie was. It was called something different. It was not I Am Legend. It was The Last
Omega-
Man on Earth.
Oh,
Last
okay.
Man, no, Omega Man is the Charles
that's right.
Manson one. Last Man
Right.
on Earth is the Vincent Price.
It's the Vincent
version.
Price one, and the Vincent Price one was painful to watch too.
Did you see Omega Man?
I've not seen Omega
I
Man,
love that movie.
but I mean, for me,
Strays from the book a little too much, but it's still good. Still
but
good.
for me, the Vincent Price one, I think, was just because it was a campy. It was that type of movie from yesteryear. It was that kind of campy, and so it didn't translate very well in terms of. I think I've not read the books, but it did not feel like this is a very tight story.
Here's a fun fact. In the end of Omega Man, that's the Charlton Heston version of I Am Legend, he gets killed in a fountain.
Right.
The fountain that he gets killed in is the same fountain they use in the opening of Friends. And that fountain is currently in the Warner's lot.
That's interesting.
That's a very
I
interesting
didn't know that.
fact.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
But I would agree. The Happening is.
It's
that's
really bad. It's really bad.
My top 5 zombie movies are White Zombie, Bela Lugosi, one of the first zombie movies.
That's really good.
That is a good one.
One of the
That's a really
first
good
zombie
pick.
movies ever made, really. Serpent and the Rainbow, because Bill Pullman's in that, and I like that movie, and it's sorry.
Fuck you, that's strong. No, god damn it, that's so good.
Never
I
seen
wish
it.
I'd thought
I haven't
of that.
seen that one either.
God damn it, Jeff, that's so good.
Serpent and the Rainbow, yeah, Bill Pullman trying to
that's a good
find
movie.
the secret to voodoo zombies, and it's really cool, and he gets like all this head warping like mind trip is so good. Todd, I agree with you. Dawn of the Dead, the remake, that's so good. I love that one with Ving Rhames. 28 Days Later, and then my top number 1, Night of the Living Dead, number 1 zombie movie.
The classic George A. Romero.
Classic George A. Romero. It's so good. It starts it off. I mean,
That's the one where they starts basically just the one dead guy in the cemetery.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The fucked up shit about that is how the movie company screwed George A. Romero out of his money, because he had copywritten Night of the Flesh Eaters.
right.
And the RKO, I think it was
I believe it is.
I think it was
I believe
RKO
yeah.
at that time.
I think it was RKO at the time, took it and said, oh, he copywrote this. Oh, we can just change the title and screw him out. And so they changed it to Night of the Living Dead. And so George A. Romero never got his royalties for any of that stuff. And it's fucked because it eventually became public domain. So that's why you see so many different smaller companies releasing Night of the Living Dead.
I didn't know any of
under
that.
their DVD collection films of like, oh, here are the top 50 scary movies of all
Now
time.
RKO is a huge company.
So big. So big. What was their last release? It was Straight Outta Compton, right? Which I saw this weekend, by the way.
I hate you for Serpent and the Rainbow. Because god damn it, that's a strong pull. I forgot that movie. So good.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Dude, I heard of the movie.
Based on a true story.
I've
I
been
know
told
it's about the pufferfish toxin that they use to manipulate people into slavery in Haiti.
Which is really good. It's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. It's weird, but it's like a mind trip.
It's really weird, and like it starts off with like this weird hippie guy in his flat in New York City talking about, oh, I'm gonna go to Haiti and study zombies. And it's like a weird hippie party, and then I don't know. It's a weird movie, but it's really good.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else everyone wants to add to their list?
Ooh, no, I don't think there's anything I could really add in terms. I think everybody came with some really strong pictures.
If you haven't seen any of these movies, I will check them out and see if you can decide which one is the worst movie.
That's right. And let us know, what are your favorite zombie movies? Well, that happened podcast.com. God damn it. Go check us out. We got a fucking website, people.
Yeah, contact us. It's on there. Just go to the right,
We will
contact, bam.
we will read your comments. I'm sorry.
Send us some emails.
You can go and you can contact us and say, "Hey, Todd," and it will come into the show's the show's email. Mm-hmm. So
World War Z, baby. Let's hear it.
I hate you.
all right, let's
Move on.
Time for the movie review. That's right. We're going to do the movie review of Wrymwood, Road of the Dead.
Check us out at wellthathappenedpodcast.com or check us out facebook.com/WTH podcast to let us know your thoughts about the film Wrymwood, Road of the Dead. Now, this shit podcast, they follow us on Instagram, good friends of the show, I'd say, because they like us and we like them back. Now, they commented on our Facebook page and said, as Australians and film enthusiasts, we loved this movie, and that's going to be the way we kick off this movie review. So, Jeff, since you're the one leading the program, let us know how we're going to go about this.
There's several categories: acting, writing, directing, effects, which can include makeup, CGI, and practical and other things, etc., and an overall and a rating. Each of us are going to come up with our review, hitting each of those categories in a nice, seamless review. So without further ado, Sam Renderos, what did you think of Wrymwood, Road of the Dead?
Wrymwood is a very fascinating film that I enjoyed but had issues with. Now, in terms of acting, I really liked everybody they cast for this film. I thought they brought some humanity to their role. Bianca Brady? I don't know how to say her name. Brady? I'm going to say Brady. Bianca Brady, she played the sister in the film. I felt that she was probably the most underused because she was just kind of like, hey, I'm a woman that's in danger and I don't know how to get out of the mess that I'm in. But Jay Gallagher, who played her brother, Barry, he was really strong. The emotions that you felt for him having to kill his wife and kid really came through. But everybody, Benny, the guy who played Benny, everyone did really well. The writing was not so strong, and I think that's where the acting kind of made up for it. Some of the dialogue and some of the story paths they took didn't really click with me. The directing was really well done for this film. I thought it was a very raw and visceral kind of direction when it came to the movie. The shaky cam that they used it in the appropriate moments where you felt like you would be kind of watching this almost shaking as whatever characters were on screen were struggling. The effects were really decent. The gas breathing zombie effect was really cool until they brought it into the gasoline blood. But, overall, I did enjoy the movie. It was a little weird in its pacing. They lost me about halfway with the gasoline blood and the psychic connection. But I was invested in the characters enough by this point that I was able to let that slide, as ridiculous as the turn that they took. And for that reason, I scored it a 3.5 on Netflix's 1 through 5 scale.
Todd, what did you
Awesome.
say?
I feel like if someone hasn't seen the movie, that might have been confusing. So I'm going to give a brief synopsis that's not Netflixy, that's more normal person talk. There's a meteor shower, and a bunch of zombies attack, right? This guy discovers his wife and family are turned into zombies, so he kills them and he goes on the run. He then runs into other outcasts, and they're trying to find his sister, who has called him to tell him about the zombie attack. On the way, they come across a group of a military organization, I guess is what they are, and they are running experiments on the survivors, where they discover that the survivors all have A negative blood type, right?
Yep.
That sounds
Yeah.
a pretty good synopsis of the film. Okay. It's a journey pick, right? This guy, he discovers a problem and he needs to go on a journey to get to the solution. And as far as that goes, A to B, it works out pretty well. They hit all the right moments. They hit all the highs and lows, all the struggles and all the conflicts and all the resolutions to their issues. They turn out really nicely. The actor who played the lead, he was actually really good. He hit all the emotions great. When he had to kill his wife and daughter, I thought it was truly phenomenal. And you saw his emotions. He tried to kill himself then at that point. It was very cool. The girl who played his sister, she was good for what it was, but the character was very two-dimensional in my mind. She was just a generic, I'm a strong woman and I can kick ass kind of thing. And then all of a sudden she developed a psychic connection to zombies. And they explained it well because they were injecting her with zombie blood. So they explained it within the world of the play, but it still seemed ridiculous that she then was controlling zombies with her mind. I don't know, and again, that could have been anybody. I thought she did a good job, but yes, Sam?
Do you think if she had a superhero name, she'd be Zombito? Because, she could control the zombies. I'm sorry, I had to jump in there. I apologize.
She might have been the Zombeaver.
Oh, God. Well done.
That's great.
Thank you. The guy who played the evil mad scientist, I thought he was fantastic. He actually stole the show. Every scene he was in, I enjoyed watching him very much. There were parts of this movie that were great. The action scenes were awesome. They were edge of your seat action. They were all practical effects, not special, not CGI, which looked really cool. Like, it looked great. Except for the fact that, and I already mentioned this, my number one pet peeve in movies, the guy used a pneumatic nail gun just running around shooting things and shooting people. And I really hate that. Like, that takes me out immediately because I know that's just not how it works. And I really hate that. When the zombies started to catch fire because their blood is the only thing that's gasoline, I really lost that. And when the crazy old guy started saying that the reason there are zombies and people left over is because of the Book of Revelations and the star of Wrymwood is now cascading the earth, except it was only the people with A negative blood, I went sideways. I didn't know what the hell was going on. It came to a satisfying resolution, though, mostly, except for the fact that the girl managed to come back to life after they killed her. And I don't know, like, I gave it a 3. I gave it a solid 3. Like, I genuinely enjoyed the film. It was exciting. It had good action. It had really good action, really good cinematography. The blood and the gore and the effects were really cool. The acting was phenomenal. The story is where it fell apart. I felt like they tried to make it too complicated. They tried to put too much into it and cover too many bases as opposed to just making it a very simple journey.
Right.
The end. 3 out of 5. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try not to say the same exact things you guys said because I feel the same way about a lot of it. The acting was great. The comedy was great. The writing kind of fell apart. It felt like they bit off more than they could chew because I was with it for about halfway through the movie and then the whole psychic zombie thing happened. I was kind of okay with that, but then they started changing up their zombie rules throughout the whole thing. And then on top of that, it was the way she could control zombies. If she moved her hand, they moved their hand. If she moved her head, they could move their head. But then it turned into she just had her hand up like she was Storm from X-Men and just moved them around like they were a puppet. And that drove me insane. The makeup effects, I'm all for that with anything. There was a lot of cool blood effects, even though most of it was CG.
Was it?
There's a lot of CG effect in there.
Practical.
There's a lot
of blood explosions that looked very After Effects-y to me.
But I think there was a ton of blood effects as well that were real because I wouldn't have hired that many makeup artists who should know what they're doing and not have at least some practical blood explosions. And I also liked the fact that most of the zombies had contacts in rather than going in and doing it in post, which was pretty cool. I mean, I completely agree with you guys. I would put it as a 3 out of 5 as well.
We're gonna agree on a lot of things here. Acting was pretty good overall. There was a few. The character of Benny, he was really funny, but there were times when he was trying to play some of the serious moments that I just kind of didn't believe necessarily. The directing, honest to God, it was gorgeous. Like the way they shot everything looked beautiful. The colors they chose, especially for inside the lab, was great. I thought those scenes were fantastic. The effects looked really good. The makeup effects were great. Like I just mentioned, some of the head explosions with the shots, with the shotguns, looked very After Effects-y, and I could tell that they were done digitally. It would have been cooler to see some practical head explosions, although that would have raised their budget, which was, according to Wikipedia, $106,000 budget, or somewhere around there, $100,000 budget, which is really cheap for a movie. Really, really cheap. So props to these people for making a movie like this for that cheap. The biggest problems I had were the writing. And it falls into a category which writers call the double mumbo jumbo, which basically says you can have something crazy and fantastic, but when you start to add more crazy and fantastic on top of that, that's when you start to lose this. And I feel like that's where it happened. Having zombies is a crazy, crazy thing to begin with. But if they would have not shown an origin and that was the world, they lived in a world of zombies, which is I thought they were going to do with the very opening sequence. Okay, the world has zombies in it. That's just something we can accept right off the bat. Okay, no problem. And then maybe they have the psychic link. That could have been something they started to add in there, and that would have been fine. I think that would have been fine because we already accept that there's the zombie world. That's the natural world that they live in. Having the psychic link is the quote-unquote magic of the movie. But having the zombies appear, then having them breathe gas that then they suck in at night so they're now faster, but then they're, for no reason during the day, they just release it out into the open. Okay, whatever. It's weird, but it doesn't make sense. But then to add the psychic link on top of that, that's when you start to lose people because there's just too much stuff that we have to now begin to accept that the willing suspension of disbelief starts to fall apart. And I think that's where they start to lose me. That said, it was a fun movie and I enjoyed it overall, though there were issues that I just talked about. I gave it a score of 3.0, which altogether we have a total average score of 3.125.
So they just rounded down, 3.1. That's its score out of 5. 3.1 out of 5, y'all.
So it's an enjoyable movie. It's fun to watch. I personally recommend it. Sam, do you recommend it?
I do recommend it. Todd, do you recommend it?
I would recommend it if it was streaming or if it were on TV. I would not recommend going out and spending extra money on a rental, and I would not recommend buying it.
Haley?
I thought it was pretty cool. I'd buy it and recommend it.
Okay.
So let me ask you guys a question. Favorite sequence?
Ooh, when Barry meets up with that first guy in the truck, and then they're out in the woods looking for the zombie, and then Benny blows the guy's head off. That was pretty awesome.
Hilarious.
That was awesome.
That was a good scene.
He was like, "Is he okay?"
No,
his head is fucked.
I think my favorite sequence is with the Mad Doctor. Pretty much, I agree with Todd. He stole every scene in the movie for me, and when he's dancing to Casey and the Sunshine Band, going, "That's the way I like it."
That was hilarious.
Hilarious, and I love that. I loved it.
I actually enjoyed it's from the moment that they escaped Barry and his family to the moment he had to put them down, because it was very reminiscent of The Last of Us, and I truly felt Barry's pain, so I really enjoy that sequence.
Nice.
My favorite sequence is honestly the opening. The very, very beginning, when the guys put on their suits of makeshift armor and go out and try to fight the zombies to tow the truck back to the garage. I thought that was such an awesome way to open the movie, and it showed what the movie was all about. And I really dug it. It was really well done.
All right.
So next week, we're going to do the movie Soap Dish. It is directed by Michael Hoffman, and it is one of Robert Downey Jr.'s earlier films. It came out in 1991. It is starring Sally Field, Kevin Kline, Robert Downey Jr., Kathy Moriarty, Elizabeth Shue, Whoopi Goldberg, Terry Hatcher, Gary Marshall, and Robert Downey Jr.
Great. Sounds good. So next week, Soap Dish.
Soap Dish.
And with that, well...
Wrymwood, Road of the Dead.
That happened.